everybody? I'm not rushing. This is a Davy Crockett hat.
That's right.
So.
And I've got my poop emoji hat. Because sometimes as an ed tech coach, when we're dealing with resistant teachers, we feel like poop.
That's right.
We have a couple other hats that we're going to be talking about as well.
This is the adventurous
That's
part
right.
of the ed tech coach.
That is correct.
Sometimes this is not good when they start seeing you as the sheriff, as
not good.
The authority figure, because that's the admin's job.
That's exactly right.
Job.
That's right.
So this is not a hat that you want to wear.
You can't do your job with that. And then the other hat we've got, right here. It's another one of my hats because as an ed tech coach, even though people might like me, they hated what I stood for because they don't like technology.
Yep, they don't like progress.
They just want to stay in their bubble. And so I say, you know what? That's okay. I love haters.
That's right.
I love them. Doesn't matter. Yep.
You hate me, I'm going to love you anyways.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Kill you with kindness.
Sorry. That's right. So just some logistics. I see we got some people watching, so welcome. We will be watching the live chat on the YouTube, via the YouTube. So if you have questions, you can definitely ask us questions on there. Once we share our screen, we'll be unable to see the group chat on the Hangout on air. But we will check it on the live chat. And then we'll also try to check if you've got questions, tag either of us on Twitter and ask some questions, and we'll look at that as well.
Yeah, so put this here.
The Twitter.
It's supposed to be on the presentation, but.
Yes. And welcome, Peggy. Also welcome to Irene, who's here on the live Hangout. Welcome to everyone else as well.
So I'm being adventurous right now and representing the Central Valley, California.
Yes. That's where we're from.
We're drinking the Highway 99 Golden Ale from Tioga Sequoia Brewery.
Correct.
Our favorite brewery right now. So it's kind of our go-to beer.
At the moment.
So I'm being adventurous. I'm drinking beer on Google Hangout. So,
That's right.
Just saying. So Peggy's back. Yep, we've been hanging out with Peggy all day. Love it. Oh, Reba's back too. All right.
Awesome.
She's in
Excellent.
the last session, so good to see some familiar faces. So
absolutely.
No further ado, let's go ahead and get the show on the road.
Absolutely.
We'll start sharing our screen. You probably won't be able to see us wearing the hat, but we have pictures of the hats on the slide deck.
That is correct.
So again, if you want to get access to our slide deck, you go to my website, techcoachjuarez.com. You'll see the hashtags tab. On the drop down, you'll see Add a Cat, which is for Katherine and I. We'll play in our names. Click on the Add a Cat tab or link and go down to where it says EdChangeGlobal 2017, and you'll see our sessions that we've done jointly. This will be, I believe, the second one in the list. So with no further ado, let's get the show on the road.
That's right. Give us a moment to share our screen here. And
sorry,
we're getting a crazy loop. That's fine. That looks really cool. Actually,
Inception.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I love when technology glitches like that.
That's right.
See, that's the kind of attitude we got to have.
Yeah,
our teachers too. Look at how cool that is. Look at how I see it on the YouTube one. That's awesome. All right, much better. Here we go. Oh, no music? Is it going to play?
Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
Oh, let's see if it catches up.
Oh, it's loud.
Yeah, so really, WWE fans, this is Break the Walls Down, inspired by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Chris Jericho. So you see his little silhouette picture up there in our image.
Also, we got a QR code for our session resources as well as the short URL. So go ahead and check that out. You'll also see all of our contact information here, our websites and our email addresses. My name is Katherine Goyette. I am an EdTech integration consultant for Tulare County Office of Ed. So I work with a lot of districts in an area geographically the size of Connecticut. K-12. Prior to that, I did a lot of work with elementary, so K-6. And then Adam has a different role, so we really complement each other as far as that. Go ahead and talk about what you do.
So again, I'm Adam Juarez.
Grade levels.
I'm a tech integration coach for grades 6 to 12 for the Cutler-Rossi Joint Unified School District. If you don't know what that is, but you probably don't. We're right here in the center of California. It's very rural. This is not the glitz and glamour of LA or the Bay Area. If I dropped you from an airplane into the valley, you'd think you're in the middle of the Midwest. It's all farms. Where I work in Cutler-Rossi, I work at both middle school and high school. and most of my students are the children of migrant farm workers. So about 95% Hispanic, at least 3/4 ELs. So that's the population that you'll see around the valley. So that's it's a little bit about me.
All right, moving on. Let's get going. Here we go. By the way, if you are on the Hangout, feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. That is absolutely acceptable and encouraged. And if you don't have, you can also, of course, ask questions via the live chat on the YouTube link itself. All right, so breaking down the walls with resistant teachers. I think this is one of our most difficult parts of the job, but it's something that we are very passionate about because I believe that it's really a matter of equity and it's about the kids. It's not about teachers. Our job is to make sure that all students have access to great teaching with technology.
So that being said, you know what? We're not in the business for the comfortability of teachers and adults. We're in this for the what's best for students. We'll be sharing some of our war stories here, dealing with teachers who just don't want to evolve, for lack of a better term. And we'll talk about some who took the plunge and now are so grateful that they did. So some ways to connect with those who might be just a little resistant.
That's right. So be sure to share on social media during this session. We do check Twitter. You may have noticed a couple of you, I've already followed a couple of you that have tweeted out and tagged us. So thank you for connecting. We really do believe in the power of our PLN. And so, yeah, use the hashtags ECG2017. CV Tech Talk is our regional hashtag that's gone viral and is now national and sometimes global. And then, of course, the two of us, when we present, we are EdChat. So go ahead and tweet those out and connect with us. If you're looking to connect, we've got our website just launched this summer, cvtechtalk.org. So go ahead and check that out as well. All right, so we talked a little bit about this. We showed you the hats themselves, but we're going to be showing you, there will be a hat on each slide because as ed tech coaches, we wear a lot of hats. There's a lot to juggle. And so, you know, hopefully this will also just kind of help you have some context and remember what we're talking about here.
Yeah, some of these hats are hats that we wear voluntarily. Some are inadvertent and some are just completely just involuntary. So just, you know, what to do in those situations and how to, you know, juggle all the different hats that you have to wear as a tech coach.
Okay. All right, so some of the teachers that I've worked with, and you may have similar experiences, when they think of technology in the classroom, this is what they imagine. They imagine that it's going to be a distraction. They imagine that kids are going to be off topic, off task, playing games, not interacting with the content. And so honestly, we have that I love haters hat there because they hate technology. They are fearful of it. They don't want it. And we have both experienced teachers that are like that, that are very resistant. But we just love them anyway. We love those haters. I would argue that the technology is not the problem in this image.
It's the cemetery style rows that you see in that classroom.
That's one problem.
That's one big problem right there. And pretty much how the technology is being used is another huge problem. I mean, the teachers, they hate technology because they hate the unknown. They fear it. And you know what? Take a look at those kids and their devices. Look how engrossed they are with those devices. If you could only find a way to leverage the power of that device for something academic and what she's trying to teach, you hit a home run. And the haters don't really see that.
And those haters, I mean, you look at this teacher, she's frustrated. I mean, she hates technology, but she also is frustrated standing at the front of her class, unable to connect with students. And we know that the best way to impact kids is to actually make that connection, and that those relationships are key. And so it's so important that we try to talk to these teachers and get them involved in these students' lives and understanding that this is the world they live in, and how we can make that connection and ultimately make them a better teacher. It's about making them a better teacher for their kids. Some teachers get very frustrated, and I get it. They get frustrated because they say, oh, you know what, the Wi-Fi is always down. I'm not even going to try. I don't even want to use technology because Wi-Fi is always, I hate it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, haters, but you know what? The Wi-Fi going down is not a problem for you to completely write off technology.
Let's prove it.
It's a cop-out and it's an excuse.
This is what I show them.
Yes.
Should we show them?
I think we should.
Let's show them what we show these teachers that say, oh, Wi-Fi's out.
The best household advice from the president to the next president: get better Wi-Fi in the White House.
You know, the whole tech thing, we've been trying to get that straight for the next group of folks, because there's an old building, and so there are a lot of dead spots where Wi-Fi doesn't work.
Wi-Fi doesn't work in the White House.
Well, I guess Obama just completely gave up on technology, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he didn't say, never mind, never going to use technology.
He called the Pentagon and said, you know what, no more digital warfare here now. We're going to go straight paper and pencil, because you just never know when the Wi-Fi is going to cut out.
That's right. You just don't know.
Yeah. You know,
could be any time.
It's completely 100% totally unreliable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our response to
hashtag sarcasm.
To that. I will say, however, with this Wi-Fi issue, that it can be an issue. And it's something where I really made, even now in my current job, I always make a relationship with those that IT department. I bring them donuts.
That's right.
I'm not even joking. I bring them donuts. I build that relationship so that I can tell them, hey, you know what? It's about the kids. And is there something we can do about this? There's something on my end that I'm doing wrong. But that's our job. That's not the teacher's job. The teacher's job is to continue teaching. And sometimes we got to go old school, but doesn't mean we don't try the tech. Doesn't mean that we don't try to implement it.
So, you know what? Dealing with these issues with Wi-Fi and other tech problems that just pop up, it never fails. Something's going to go wrong.
Yep.
But guess what? If you're just going to write it off, you have a fixed mindset.
Mm-hmm. If
you have a growth mindset and you're just going to learn how to fail forward, just roll with those punches. Just having the ability to roll with those punches and failing forward, what you're going to do, you're modeling something for your kids that's so powerful that mistakes are okay. Things are going to happen. It's how you deal with it. Just cutting things off because it's not working properly, it's not the answer. You know, if I sprain my ankle and I can't walk correctly for a couple weeks, am I going to cut my foot off?
You know, your car broke down the other day. Maybe we should just throw the car away.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to take my kids for a week, for about 3-day trip to the beach in our travel trailer. So I'm heading out in the morning to the RV place to get a part for my trailer, and my truck broke down. I could have had a fixed mindset that says, you know what, I'm going to get rid of my trailer. I'm never going to go to the beach. Forget it. Disappoint my kids. What did I do? I had my car towed.
You pivot. That's what you do in the
classroom. I had my truck towed, had it taken care of, and I found another way.
That's right.
So
still went to the beach. Different beach.
We still got to the beach. A different beach.
No trailer.
Different vehicle. Yeah. A hotel instead. But I found a way. So it's that simple, haters. Just because something goes wrong doesn't mean you write it off altogether. Long story short.
That's right. We're going to love you anyway.
Yep.
Because we love haters as coaches. It's not work this. All right, I'll do it this way. See, that just illustrates our point.
That's right.
The arrow on the Chromebook did not make the slide go forward, so I didn't give up. I'm just going another way. So when we come into the classrooms and teachers feel like we are asking them to do something new, those resistant teachers, those hesitant teachers, as you can see, they feel like poop. That's why we got the poop emoji hat there.
Isn't the word that I usually use for that, but yeah.
Well,
it's euphemism.
Yes. So what we really want to do is motivate teachers intrinsically. And how do we do that? There's 3 things that I always think of, and I always frame all of my PDs, all of my coaching, all my consulting, everything among these 3 things. Daniel Pink wrote a book called Drive. He's got a great TED Talk and some videos on YouTube and such, so I would certainly urge you to look that up. But he did research, and the science shows that people are intrinsically motivated not by someone telling them you must do this, not by money, surprisingly. They're motivated intrinsically by three things. And as a tech coach, there's no way that you can be everywhere. So you've got to have teachers that are intrinsically motivated. If they're only using technology because they know you're coming, that's not good enough. They've got to be intrinsically motivated to continue when you're not there. So the three things are autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So purpose means as a teacher, I must feel that technology integration is actually a good thing and necessary. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that and how we can communicate that with our teachers so that we really have that strong why, that strong vision that this is for kids and it is necessary for the world they're living in today. The second thing, we had the purpose. The other one is autonomy. If as a teacher, I feel that you don't trust me as a professional to make my own decisions and that you're just saying, hey, I'm going to teach you Google Classroom, everyone must use it. Well, maybe there's something else that I want to use. Giving teachers choice and options within your instruction with them and coaching is going to help a lot. And then the third one is mastery. If I don't feel that I can accomplish something, I'll just shut down. I won't do it. So this is an example of a hater that I had in my, when I was coaching. And this hater did not hate me, but she hated technology. Great teacher, wonderful, wonderful teacher. And she knew the purpose. She did. She said, Katherine, I know that these kids, we were in a low socioeconomic area. She says, I know they don't have the technology at home. I know that they're at a disadvantage. I know there's a digital divide. I know I've got to get them using the technology, but I hate it. She says, what she was missing were the other two pieces. She was missing the mastery and the autonomy. She felt like, I still want to teach what I want to teach because and how I want to teach because I know I'm a good teacher. And the other piece, the mastery, she felt like, I don't even know how to do this in the first place. So I urged her to put on her adventure hat.
That's right.
I urged her to do this. And the way that I had to do this is I had to say, look, I honor your autonomy. I honor your professionalism. I came in to her classroom while she was planning. And I said, show me your lessons for the next 2 weeks. She showed me her lessons. And essentially, she was doing great things. She had some gallery walks. She had collaborative grouping. She had kids talking. She had kids writing. She had kids researching. All I did was take that and digitize it, essentially, and show her ways. I created these, but the thing was, everything was her content and her ideas. All I did was show her the tech tools that fit within her context. If I would have gone in there and said, you need to use Google Classroom, I'll show you how to do it, she would have shut down. So I go in, this teacher actually literally told me that she got a headache when she would go in the computer lab. Literally. Yep. Katherine, I have a headache when I go in there. I said, just let me help you. So the first couple days, kind of go okay, because I'm actually in there with her, teaching it, modeling it, going to the point where we're finally co-teaching, and things go well. She loved that I had attached it to the context of what she was doing. The mastery piece was a little harder. She says, I don't know how to do this on my own. Well, we had simultaneously created a tech team, and there were members of that tech team in her classroom. And so one day I couldn't be there. I had a meeting. And she sends me a text, and she said she was freaked out. I have to be in the computer lab, and I don't know what to do. What if there's a problem? I said, I pushed everything through Google Classroom. The kids know what to do. But if something goes wrong, what do I do? And so she sends me this text and says, Tiger Tech Team in action, helping others in ELA. She was so excited. She came to me when I was done with my meeting after school, and she said, I didn't know what to do. Kids were having problems, and I just said, who's on Tiger Tech Team? Kids raised their hands, and I said, go. And I just deployed them out into the rest of the classroom. So teaching those kids or teaching those teachers that they can leverage the power of their students in their classroom really makes a big difference. So the story of that picture is both the honoring of the autonomy and the context of what they're teaching, as well as allowing the kids to help the teachers master the tech tool.
So piggybacking off that, another story from where I work. We have a teacher, Mindy Pena. She's put it this way, she's old enough to be my mom. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But Mindy, when I first got the tech coaching job, looked at me and crossed her fingers and hold them up to me and said, "Stay away from me. Do not come in my room. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it." And eventually, I leaned on her a little bit. I didn't force it upon her, but eventually, once I gave her that autonomy, and I I helped her with that mastery. And the purpose was easy. She knew the purpose. It was, again, those other 2 points where she was hesitant. But once we finally broke down the wall and she, for lack of a better term, gave in, she just ran with it to the point where she's done such a good job. They featured her on a local ABC affiliate news story about what she's doing with her students, to the point where she talks about it. She was on camera crying about how it transformed her job. It just made her just fall in love with her job again, and it was absolutely amazing. So we're gonna move forward. We have some cool little comments here from the live chat here on YouTube, and Reba makes a good point. Says in order for growth of tech, teachers need good and proper tech PDs. I couldn't agree with you more. You also went on to say about how they give you one tech PD in the beginning of the year and that's it.
Yeah.
So you know what?
It's not coaching.
I feel for you. Coaching it's ongoing. You know, we do some co-teaching. We plan with you, and support has to be, the feedback needs to be constant. So yeah, if you're not getting that kind of tech PD from your district, you know, send them to us. We'll coach them up on how to deliver that properly. So,
and Peggy's talking about making them feel like it's not one more thing on their plate.
Yes.
We're going to address that in a bit, because as far as lesson planning and showing teachers that this is, technology is not one more thing on the plate, as Joe Marquez says, it is the plate. But how to frame that for teachers.
Joe has another great, Joe Marquez, it's at Joe Marquez 70 on Twitter. Yeah, great, extremely innovative educator out here in the Valley. And Joe also says, you know what, technology doesn't change the way you teach, it changes how you reach. That's another one of his more recent quotes that he's kind of deputized me to use. So yeah, you get those haters out there, it is the plate. It's not one more thing on the plate that changes how you reach. It doesn't change how you teach.
All right, so a lot of those teachers that are resistant, they say, I got too much work. We kind of addressed this already. They think it's one more thing on the plate.
So they feel like poop.
That's right.
Or shiitake mushrooms. There you go. That's my euphemism.
There we go. So how can we take care of that, Adam?
Well,
I see some robots here. What's that about?
Yeah, I'm not saying that we teach robotically all lock and step like those robots, but the robot GIF there is about automation, okay, digitizing your workflow and just becoming a lot more efficient with what you do. Technology is a perfect tool to really streamline your workflow, and you'll notice that when you digitize a lot of your processes and systems, you're saving so much time. I did a session yesterday called Ditch That Copier, which is designed just to do that, to give you more time to design these empowering learning experiences rather than just your typical run-of-the-mill cemetery-style lesson. So if you're a classroom teacher, I mean, this whole session is just for you. Say, hey, you want to know what to get out of your tech coach? You know, what we're sharing with you is what you should expect to get from your tech coach. They're there to support you, to help you streamline your workflow, to be more efficient with your time and implement the tech. If your tech coach is just taking over your class and doing a demo lesson and then leaves, they're doing it wrong, because it's not helping you take off that poop emoji hat.
That's right. Because then they feel dependent on you. So, but we'll talk about some strategies for empowering teachers too in a bit. Didn't click over. Let's try again. I could just give up because I'm not good at technology. All right, here we go. So, again, addressing that question, that I'm not good at technology. Again, John Carippo, he's essentially the number 2 in Q. And
he's number 1 right now for the interim.
So from Central Valley here as well, and he says you have 30 people in the classroom who can provide you with tech support, just like we talked about before. You know, we saw proof of that by that text that I showed you from Kelly Barsati. But yeah, that's the truth. And you want to talk a little bit about excuses and this picture here.
That, but I'm not good at technology is just an excuse. It's a cop-out. Don't buy that excuse. I'm sorry. A lot of people out here make that excuse. They are very proficient on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They're on Snapchat. They're doing things with technology. And if you can navigate social media, you can manage. You can navigate ed tech in your classroom. I don't buy it. And it's interesting that we bring up our good friend John Carippo here because if he can do what he did, you can do what you got to do with EdTech in your classroom. I'm going to show a little clip here. John Carippo, well, you guys don't see me right now. I'm not a very big man. I'm about 5'7", 190 pounds. Okay? I'm not a very imposing figure. John Carippo is the same height and weighed about 20 pounds less than me and played Division I college football. So some of you are thinking, all right, yeah, no big deal. Someone small, you don't have to be big to play football if you're the kicker, right? So there's some running backs that are pretty good that are small. John Carippo played nose guard on the defensive line. Okay, your average defensive line nose guard nowadays is somewhere between 280 and 300 pounds, usually 6 feet and above. John Carippo was 5'7", 175 pounds, and from what he told me the other day, he only benched about 150. So how could someone that size play Division I college football? Let's take a look. Quick little clip, because if you think I'm lying, get a little clip here of John playing Division I college football.
And he picks up a couple of yards. John Carippo, the nose guard, who is filling in for Mark Olson, made the tackle. Carippo is one of those guys you like to talk about in college football. He is a nose guard. You generally expect a nose guard to be 6'2", 240 or thereabouts. Carippo checks in at 5 feet 7 inches tall, 175 pounds. He is number 65. We're looking at O'Leary right now. Maybe we can zero in and see how Carippo does on this play. Look at this. Well, he just did get the pass away to Petty. But the reason that penalty marker is dropped, the reason that play didn't get more, Bradley was under such pressure from John Carippo.
The guy you were talking about, and there he was. Not a very big guy, but obviously very quick on the feet. Let's look at him there right in the middle of your screen. You see him weaving by tacklers, putting pressure on Bradley, who has to just unload it.
So if John Carippo at that size can play Division I college football nose guard, you can do what you got to do with that tech. I'm sorry. Don't buy the excuses.
That's right.
I mean, it's not impossible.
That's right. So I urge you to tell your teachers to put on their adventure hat and have them. We want to empower students by empowering teachers. And so part of that means that we need to put on that adventure hat and we need to be creative. We need to allow teachers to be creative as well. So this is taken from John Spencer and AJ Giuliani's book, Launch Book. Great book. I highly recommend it. And they say, what if creativity means you abandon prepackaged meals and empower your students to be the chefs? We talked a little bit about allowing the students to give tech support, but we want to go even further. We want the students to be in charge of creating and not consuming content using the devices.
This is where voice and choice comes through. You know, you're going to give kids, again, with teachers to master this stuff, they need autonomy. You got to give the kids autonomy too. You can't always give them this prepackaged lesson plan where we're all doing the same thing. For me, when I design a learning experience for students, I like to give them a menu. I go, here's the content. Here's what I want you to learn. Here's a list of tools and strategies I'd like you to use. Pick and choose and show me that you know what this is. And again, right there, there's nothing prepackaged about that.
That's right. And in some classes, you can go beyond the choice board,
That's
to
right.
be honest. If you've got an environment set up where the students they fail forward, as our good friend Corey Orlando says,
Yep.
Then the students can come up with the ideas. What if I make a YouTube video to show my learning? What if I go on Minecraft and I screencast Minecraft because we are talking about architecture of ancient history? What if I do that? You know, allowing those kids to come up with those ideas as well.
That's right.
All right. So one of the ways that actually this is all you. So I'll let Adam you talk about this slide.
So one of the ways that I've kind of empowered a teacher to incorporate some writing and technology was through the use of Blogger. Blogger is Google's blogging app. And it's free. It's connected in part of any Gmail account, whether it's a personal account or a school education issued one. And first thing I got from those haters was that, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to set up Blogger. I don't know. And you're not available, so I'm not going to do it. I go, hey, don't even trip. I got you. So what did I do? I do a screencast that shows you step by step exactly how to set up a student Blogger account. I said, here's your screencast. I put it on YouTube, put the link on Google Classroom, send it to all your students, and tell them to copy what I do in the video. And it was that simple. I wasn't even in the room. I wasn't even on campus that day. I was at a different campus. But we have a screenshot of a student right here who tweeted at me saying that I was teaching him how to blog in his ag science class.
You weren't even there.
I wasn't even there.
That's right.
So as a tech coach, screencasting a lot of times is your best friend. So many times they'll ask me a question and I respond with a screencast. If you're a classroom teacher and you know your tech coach will say, hey, can you just send me a screencast or maybe direct me to some screencasts that are already made on YouTube? Again, we're eliminating that excuse. And if you know how to have that conversation with your tech coach, from the teacher to the tech coach or vice versa, that allows you to wear that adventure hat much easier.
Now, if you feel if you don't feel quite ready to create a screencast or you don't have a tech coach, guess what? You can go to YouTube and find some. You can find some YouTube tutorials. Ask the kids, hey, you got 5 minutes to find the best YouTube tutorial on how to create a blogger profile.
That sounds like a John Carriffo story right there.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's right. What I used to do when I was in the classroom full-time teaching history, I would teach a lesson. I said, all right, you know what? You want some extra credit? Here's how you get it. I just taught you, I just taught you about the, the California Gold Rush. Okay. I said, guess what? There's people on YouTube smarter than me who probably teach this better than me. So here's your challenge. Go on YouTube. Find someone who teaches this better than me. Send me the link and write me a paragraph rationale about what you learned and how it was more informative than what I taught it. That way, now they're doing research. They're learning from someone else. And I also improve my own teaching now because those kids have found stuff maybe that I missed. And the kids are improving. It's a totally empowering experience.
And guess what? George Curro says, I'm sorry, teachers, but you will never be more exciting than YouTube.
That's right.
And so
you know, I don't think that as an insult.
No,
it's
absolutely not.
That's how it goes. So we have a question from Peggy. How do you organize your screencast tutorials so they're easy to find when you need them? Pretty much I use the power of the playlist in YouTube. You can save those playlists on the About tab in Google Classroom or have them posted on a class website. That would be my best advice there.
I think that Google Sites is one of the most underutilized tools for organization as well. So I know that for a lot of Adam's tutorials, it's easier to go to his website and look by app.
On sites, it allows me to kind of curate. I curate it by topic or by app. You can go to my YouTube channel and find and really kind of sift through my playlists and videos. But if you go to my website, it's right there by app and by topic. And then you can just put a playlist or a series of videos on there that go with it. So for me, that's worked best.
I would recommend, Peggy, putting saying Google Drive, for example, and having some resources to, your slide decks, your on Google Sites, creating a Google Drive area or whatever, and then putting all those resources in there, whether it's a slide deck, whether it's a YouTube playlist, whatever it happens to be. So if I'm a teacher, I can even go in there without contacting the tech coach, and I can still find all those resources. So try to think like a teacher. If I were a teacher, what would be easiest for me to find these resources?
Yeah, what I do as a Google certified trainer, I have a page just for the Google suite of apps, and I have a link to each app. So you click on that link, and it takes you to a page just for that app. And on that app page, I have a Google Doc with step-by-step that tells you what the skills are you need to use to master to pass the level 1 certification. And it has a screencast demonstrating every skill. So it shows you a checklist, screencast. So that's just another way that I've organized my screencast.
Yeah.
Great
Adam and
question.
Catherine.
Yes.
Hi, am I Irene?
Yes.
As a coach, I've really encouraged teachers to not so much knowing the tools and teaching the tools, but if a student teaches something that they don't know, let's say they want to use Prezi and the teacher doesn't know what that is, how to really use it, the teacher doesn't need to be, because the students, like you guys are saying, figure out how to use it. They're going to go on YouTube, they're going to find the videos and the screen tutorials. So I really try to support my teachers and not necessarily always show tools that they know that are options for students.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
I would agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here.
Yep. Yeah, because it is the kids that really need to be leading the learning anyway, and you don't want to teach the tool. So yeah, I like that. Excellent. All right, we kind of went over this. I'm going to skip ahead here.
Okay. So in order to really wear that adventurous hat, if you haven't figured out, that's probably the hat you want to be wearing. That's the fun hat to wear. That's when you know that you've accomplished something. So in order to really wear that adventurous hat, I want you to think of feeding yourself before you feed your team. If you're a tech coach, your team obviously is going to be the teachers you serve. If you're a classroom teacher, that team is obviously your students. So I want you to think of it this way. Think of when you're on an airplane. Okay? When they always talk about, if in an emergency, if the oxygen masks drop down, make sure you put it on yourself before aiding someone else. So that's such great advice, because if you're trying to help someone else and you run out of air and then you die, and the person that you try to help is going to die. So it goes into the same thing with wearing that adventurous hat as a tech coach. You got to feed yourself. How do you feed yourself? Me personally, Twitter. I rely on my PLN to give me feedback, to give me ideas, to share their ideas with me, and then I take those ideas, I synthesize them, I bring them back to my team, and I share them with my team, and I help them use all that stuff. So this GIF here kind of encapsulates the feed yourself, feed the team idea. I'm by no means a Dallas Cowboy fan, even though Ezekiel Elliott here did help me win my fantasy league last year, but Ezekiel Elliott, every time he does a big play, he does that little thing in front of his face where he says, feed me, feed me, feed me. Because if you keep feeding Ezekiel Elliott, he makes the team look good. And if you think about football, a good running back controls the clock, controls the tempo of the game, and is going to give you the highest probability of victory. So again, go out there, feed yourself, then you bring it back to your team. Your team will benefit from it. But you can't feed that team if you're not putting yourself out there and looking for those resources. And from our experience, Twitter is the biggest resource along with YouTube.
Absolutely. And as you begin to build that PLN, you really feel, and you're feeding yourself that way, you feel so much more confident to go out there and feed your team. There is no way, technology moves so fast. There is no way that you can be an expert at everything. But I know, because I've built my PLN and I've been feeding myself through Twitter, through Boxer, through these various groups, I know that Jamie Donnelly is awesome at VR and AR, and that's who I'm going to go to when I have a question. I know that there are certain people that are experts at specific things, and so that's really helps me to then feed my team.
Yeah, I know if I want to know about Flipgrid, I'm gonna hit up Carly Mora. I'm gonna hit up Katie McNamara. If I want to know more about Microsoft's tools, I'm going to hit up Lamar Treadwell.
That's right.
If you're building the PLN, you start figuring out who's the expert on certain things, so I don't have to be the expert.
That's right.
Okay? I know who to go to give me that information.
That starts to build confidence for your teachers as well, because they know that you will find answers for them. We talked about this. I'm going to skip ahead here. As far as building your PLN, we've got we just launched our website, cvtechtalk.org, for our region. It started as a regional regional group to just actually started as a Twitter chat because we know that as a technology, if you're trying to make a difference with a lot of people, there's no way you can be everywhere. And so we believe in the power of collaboration. So we started a hashtag and a Twitter chat, and it's really grown by leaps and bounds. It's now got, we've got national regulars and sometimes international. So check out this website and connect with us because there's, not because of us, but there's some amazing people that are on these chats every week.
Some of the people who are in charge of the ECG 2017 are regulars, like Katie back.
That's right.
When we did our chat, our topic was AR/VR. Donnelly took over. It was great. Again, CV and CV Tech Talk stands for Central Valley, here in the Central Valley of California. And don't feel like if you're not in Central Valley that you can't participate. I mean, we have regulars from all over the state, including members from across the country, and we regularly get people outside of our borders. So it's grown much farther beyond than we ever imagined, and it's just, again, it's about building those connections.
Absolutely.
CV Tech Talk is not just on Twitter. Okay, we're on Facebook. We are on Google Plus. We're on Voxer. We're on any pretty much social media platform that you can think of to make sure that the lines of communication are never stifled.
So again, we've got the Facebook and the Voxer and the Google Plus groups. The reason that we added various ways is because, you've got to have those teachers. You've got to connect with them where they're at. We talked at the beginning about connecting with the kids where they're at, with the technology they're familiar with. Ed tech geeks like us are always on Twitter. But what we found is these teachers that are not as familiar with Twitter, they might get an account, they might be on every once in a while, but they forget about the chat. They don't know to look every Wednesday. So then on a whim, we kind of, Adam started a Facebook group, for example. And in doing that, what happened was we said, hey, Twitter chat is this week. Hope to see you on Wednesday. All of a sudden, we had teachers that normally weren't involved and weren't growing and learning with us were there. And so that's why we've really branched out. You've got to have multiple entry points for your teachers.
Yeah, so again, CV Tech Talk every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific, where we talk pedagogy and technology.
And there's more than 111 members now. That's an old screenshot.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
That's fine.
That's all right. But yeah, definitely check out the Facebook group. So this is a screenshot that I took of Adam's window at his middle school office. And what I like about it is, there's some hashtags of different things that they were working on, as well as the hashtag CV Tech Talk reminder. But something that's even better, and the way that he fed his team was actually through building relationships through coffee. You want to talk about that?
So if you look at the left side of that picture, that window slides open. And you open that window, first thing in the morning, I got a fresh pot of coffee. It's the teacher coffee drive-thru. All they got to do is open that window and fill their cup. So again, any way I can build those relationships and connections, I'm going to do it. It doesn't cost me very much, but it may cost me, $10 a month to put the coffee out. But long story short, that $10 is that I invested in coffee goes for miles and miles and miles with those teachers. They feel comfortable working with me, and they know they can rely on me.
What I did as well at my school site when I was a coach at a single school site is every time there was a teacher planning day, so third grade team is going to meet for a whole day, second grade team is going to meet for a whole day, I send out this little email and I said, research has shown that cognitive ability increases with caffeine and coffee. So text me your Starbucks order by 7 a.m. the morning of your training, and I will bring you coffee. So what did I do? I just, and every single grade level would do this. Every single grade level was like, hey, free coffee, this is awesome. And so what it did was allow me a reason to go into their planning session and invite it.
I want to thank Peggy George. I just approved you. You are now a member of the CV Tech Talk Facebook group.
Thanks for
joining.
Love it.
You have another good question here about how to manage all these groups from these different social media platforms. That's a great question. For Twitter, we use TweetDeck to manage the hashtag. Catherine and I both jointly manage the Facebook group. So anybody who tries to join, one of us will see the we'll see the information. We just kind of divide the work up because it is a lot. As far as the website, same thing. Google Plus, Voxer. Catherine's more of an expert on Voxer than I am, so I kind of take over like the Google Plus part and maybe take the lead on Facebook. So yeah, if you're gonna be on multiple platforms, if you have a partner, it's really great to really join to divide up the work. So yeah, great question.
Yeah, and I like how Reba's saying we have to not have one size fit all trainings. We need to differentiate it, and we're going to talk a little bit. We've got a way that we do that so that the teachers do have that autonomy and that it does meet their needs. It's a little more open ended. So we'll talk about that in a bit. Another Facebook group.
Yep, we have another member of the tribe, Irene and Peggy. Our CV Tech Talk tribe members now.
We got a lot of people checking out our Facebook groups.
That's right.
This is awesome.
Yes.
I love it. Well, Facebook groups are pretty exciting.
Yes, they're
so, one thing that I think is really important too is making sure that you are involved in whatever the teachers are doing and using that collaboration. So this is one of the resistant teachers that I had. She went on Google Classroom and opened up the stream because I said, you got to open up the stream so kids can talk. I really want kids interacting and sharing what they learned, Twitter style perhaps even, in little 140 character tweets. So she opens up the stream. I say, hey, how'd it go? How did Google Classroom go? And she says, oh, Catherine, it was so frustrating. I did what you said. I opened up the stream and all of a sudden they keep writing messages to each other using emojis and all these things. And I said, no problem. Tell you what, add me as a co-teacher and I'll put a little note in there. I was actually the kind of the disciplinarian at the school, so you might want to ask your admin to do this, to be completely honest. If teachers have this fear that kids are going crazy writing inappropriate things. And so I said, put me in there and I'll put a note. So I put a little post to the kids. I say, I'm so excited, room 4, that you are on Google Classroom. This is a great place for academic conversations. Remember, we do not use emojis, and this is academic conversations only. So the kids come in, and first they see my face at the top of the screen, and they go, oh, Ms. Goyette's here? And of course the teacher says, oh yeah, and she can see everything you post. Now, I don't have time to watch everything, but it did 2 things. It helped the kids to know that someone else was watching, so it helped with that kind of behavior management portion, but it also allowed me and the teacher to work more closely together, because now the teacher could say, oh, you know what, the kids have been working so hard in such and such assignment. Can you go in and write a comment giving them positive feedback? And so I would ask her, absolutely, tell me exactly what comment you want me to write, and I will. And so you can see I wrote a comment there on one of their assignments. I see that you were collaborating, thinking critically. This will help you communicate. We were real big into the 4 C's there. The kids all knew it as well. And so it really helped because now we're on the same team. And so I can actually help her. And I know that Adam is in the Google Classrooms on a lot of his teachers he works with, so he can just push assignments as well.
Except I'm not on the disciplinary end of it. But those teachers who are newbies to Google Classroom, I tell them, add me as a teacher. If you have a question, you know what, message me, and I can just go looking from wherever I'm at on the back end, and I can just go I can walk right in there, and I can help you with any kind of snafus you're having with putting out assignments or dealing with stuff, and it's real easy. So from a tech coaching perspective, you're providing tech support.
Absolutely. Speaking of being on the same team,
yes.
So we've got some war stories. Did you want to start with the?
Here was the first time we're actually going to debut the sheriff hat.
That's right. It's not one we like.
No, we don't like wearing that hat.
As a coach.
Yep, as a coach, you are not the person in charge. Now, a long time ago when I first started, well, actually, you know what? Even today, it still happens. I'll walk into a room, and teachers give me that deer in the headlights look. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? They just kind of stop what they're doing. They're freaking out, like as if I have authority. They forget I am on a teacher's contract just like them. It's just I don't have my own classroom all day. That's the only difference. They forget. So you gotta build that relationship. They have to know you are not admin. Because if they start thinking that, you know what, they're going to be resistant. You want to build that trust with them. So, moving on towards the picture of the Chromebook right there. The Chromebook, man, the Chromebook cart. We had a walkthrough from our district not too long, a few years back, where superintendent was not happy with how they were using the Chromebooks or their lack of usage. So, the admin at that site got reamed a little bit, and her plan was, all right, this is what's going to happen. All you teachers, Adam's going to report to me about how you're using this Chromebook. So you better use them more. I'm like,
so if you are or not, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, hold on here. I am not a rat. That's making me be a rat. I'm not a stooge like that. I'm not going to be a rat. Not going to happen. I go, listen, let's flip this here. I'm not the sheriff. Told the principal, you're the sheriff. This is what I can do for you. I am going to report to you and tell you these are the things that I've worked on with them. Okay, here's kind of a list of things that they should be doing. You can go in there and evaluate how effective or how much they're being used. Not me. I'm not the sheriff. Honestly, because in the beginning I didn't have those relationships with the teachers yet, or I didn't have admin support. Getting admin support to back you in the mandate things that you're doing are so important.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that the hard way. I got to the point where I was very frustrated and disillusioned with my job in my room, just like that cat there, and watch YouTube all day, and nobody would care. I did that one day, no joke. I said, you know what? Just let me see. I'm going to sit in my office, close my door, and I'm going to watch YouTube all day. And I did. My phone did not ring. I didn't get one email. The reason why? Because I wasn't a walker.
That's right.
We have the Walking Dead GIF up there.
That's right.
I need to be out. I need to be visible. I need to ditch that office, ditch that desk, and be out in classrooms.
You cannot support teachers if you won't know how to support teachers if you're not in their classrooms.
That's right. And to the point now, I don't even need an office. I don't have an office. My office is everyone's classroom.
Mm-hmm. Bring your laptop, do your work in there. I started doing that. Game changer. Total game changer. Also, we're about to get controversial right here. Is everyone ready? Everyone ready? But what we say next is sure to offend some people, but
there are people that we respect that champion this idea.
That is correct.
And this is by no means a negative criticism of them. This is just our, I guess, opinion, for lack of a better term, of this concept.
I will say, though, just want to say, it's not just our opinion.
No.
Because I have had conversations with George Couros, author of Innovator's Mindset, as well as John Carippo, who both agree with us on this topic. So it's not just us. There are many others as well.
That's right.
Anyway, so when I was first introduced to SAMR as a teacher, I thought this is awesome. I want to be at redefinition all the time. I was that early adopter, innovator type person. And if you look at SAMR, it looks like a ladder. And I know people say, oh no, but it's okay. You're not at redefinition all the time, but it still looks like it. Psychologically, it still looks like I need to be above the line. And if I'm below the line, guess what? I feel like shit. So if you go in and you say to your teachers, we're going to do SAMR, we're going to focus on SAMR, and you do this whole SAMR lesson, and you go in and they spent hours. Let's say you've got a teacher that gives out worksheets all the time. All the time she gives out worksheets. That's all she knows how to teach. She just gives out worksheets. So then she spends hours and hours and hours because her admin said, and you need to use technology in the classroom. She says, okay, I'll take my worksheets the way I normally teach, and I'm going to turn them digital. We're at substitution, aren't we? So this teacher heard the mandate, you must use technology in the classroom, spent hours and hours digitizing the worksheets. Then I come in and I say, oh, you're at substitution. To her, that sounds like you suck. Makes you feel like shit.
I mean, honestly, the biggest problem we have with SAMR is the structure of it all. It's like a totem pole. If you're moving from bottom to up. You're fighting gravity.
Well, but
that's difficult, and it's psychologically it's not very empowering. But we have an alternative.
We do.
We're not going to complain about a problem without offering potential solution.
Yeah. Let me say too what I don't like about SAMR for about. I want to shit on SAMR a little bit more.
For it.
Explanation of these levels starts with the word technology, and I believe that technology never replaces good teaching, and I believe that pedagogy needs to always be first, and that we lead with learning, never with tech. These all lead with tech. That is wrong, in my opinion.
Hashtag no app for pedagogy.
Absolutely. Okay, so here is what we do. We lead with learning, never with tech. Never, never, never with tech. In other words, never with SAMR.
That's right.
So we instead use the 4 C's.
That's right.
Guess what? Want to know something?
I do.
Okay, if you plan with the 4 C's in mind, the tech will take care of itself.
Boom, mic drop.
Yes.
I let your boy. Just look at the 4 C's. The 4 C's can be planned with using a simple 4 square. Just look at it. It's just 2 lines. It's a cross. I'm not going to get religious on you, but you know. Anyways, look how much more inviting and open-ended that structure is. It doesn't feel like a ladder or a totem pole where you have to go from bottom to up. Okay, you don't want to have to fight gravity. There's no beginning, there's no end here. I mean, it's the simplicity of it. It gives you freedom. It encourages autonomy. It leads to empowered teaching and learning. And best of all, there's no judgment with the 4 C's. If you plan a lesson, you put your learning target, okay, just label each quadrant with whichever C, however you feel like you want to put it, and you write in there how you are addressing each C. It's so much more free than the confines of SAMR.
This gives teachers, if we go back to Daniel Pink's research on intrinsic motivation, if they've already got the purpose, and honestly, the purpose is here too, because the 4 C's, that's in the standards.
That's right.
That's in the standards.
I mean, it's like the backbone of Common Core.
It
Whether
is.
you like Common Core or not,
Yep.
I mean, that's beyond the point. To the Common Core.
So we've got our purpose. Now we're giving autonomy because we're saying, you've got your learning target. You tell me how you're going to use the 4 C's, how kids are going to be engaged, empowered using the 4 C's. And then, of course, we also have our mastery is where we come in. So this is where, as the tech coach, we say, here's some sample lesson plans. If it clicks ahead, which it will, I promise. There we go. Okay, here are some sample lesson plans that we've created. You can click on this doc when you use this short URL, the goo.gl. If you came in late, you can go back and see it. Click on these, edit them as you choose so that they work for you and your district or your school. But if you walk into a planning meeting with teachers and this is what you show them, it's not as scary. Now, if I ask the teacher, what's your learning goal? What do you want students to learn? They tell me what want the kids to learn. And now I say, all right, what are your ideas for getting kids to be creative, to think critically, to collaborate, to communicate? Now I can come in and say, give them ideas of tech tools, but this is all so much more open-ended and really empowers kids.
And it really fosters collaboration amongst people, your colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just think of it this way. These 4 C's, each one's about what the students are doing. It's not about the tech.
Right.
It's not about what the teacher does. It's what the students are doing. And that's our point.
So the URL for the lesson plans, if you actually go to the short URL that was given at the beginning of the presentation, actually you could pop that in there again.
It doesn't last.
Well, but mine's not on your website too.
I'm gonna put, let's see here.
We can't put URLs in the live chat.
Yeah,
But
so,
well, we can, okay. You can find Adams at techcoachjuarez.org. techcoachjuarez.com, and you can find mine at siteleadersconnect.org, because it doesn't allow us to put these in, but those will be available. Mine's called collaborative, and you'll just look on the website and you'll find it.
For mine, that's one of 5 that I feature on my Cardinal Innovation Center projects. If you go to cardinalinnovationcenter.org, go on the teacher portal, the drop-down menu will show you the plan with Tech Coach Juarez. It'll show you 5 lesson design models that are 4 C's infused. You click on any one of them. They're all public. You can make a copy of it and edit it and plan to your heart's content.
Yeah, and then like I said, for the one on the right, if you go to siteleadersconnect.org, it's going to be, I think I called it Collaborative Analysis Guide or something like that. So we'll look that up there. And you can always tweet us if you can't find it. Oh, here we go. Here's the session resources yet
So we
again.
put it there at the very end there. And again, Kelly Jones, you can go to, just wait a second. You'll see it on here on the screen, the short URL, or grab your phone and scan the QR code, and it's right there waiting for you.
So on that, you'll go back to this second to last slide and click on the, once you're in that, this presentation itself, those slides, those pictures are clickable and will take you to the Google Doc, and then you can just make a copy.
Yeah, there's many clickable links throughout the whole slide deck.
Right. So, well, we're done now. We're past time. I don't know if we're taking someone else's.
Yeah, it's dinner time, so go get that pizza. Man, I'm getting hungry.
That's right.
Well,
So
we had a great time.
absolutely.
Talking with you guys. Thanks for your banter, for participating and engaging with us. We had a great time, and we'll leave you with this. When you do a session with us, you have tech support for life.
That's right. So
you have our contact information. Feel free to email us, tweet us, check out our websites. We will get to you as soon as we can. We enjoy working with people and helping people and learning from others.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great night. Yeah, I know, but look, I'm having a tech support problem. It's still recording, so now everyone knows, and that's okay. It's not clicking. Oh, look, it's doing the cool thing again.